Are you missing your in-person game or just unable to find a game online to play in or not even sure where to go to do so? Well, I was recently made aware of a new resource called Start Playing that is designed to basically sync up players and GMs for not just D&D, but also for other RPG systems as well. So if you want to see what that's about and my thoughts on it and all that good stuff, stay tuned. This is me looking for group. Oh, look, I found it. What's going on, folks? Ted from Nerd Immersion here. And I just wanted to bring to your attention this really awesome resource called Start Playing. I'll have a link to it in the description down below, but it's called StartPlaying.Games is the website. And I opened it up in an incognito tab so I could just show you what it looks like. So here's the website. It says, start your adventure today. TTRPGs run by professional game masters. And you can see right here, you can find public games, find private games, and find a DM. So if I were to go to find public games, it's probably going to have, I don't think I need to necessarily log in, but look, you can, right here, we just logged in here. Waterdeep Dragon Heist Virtual, Taking Back Merca, 5e D&D module on a campaign based in the world of Merca. And you can see right here, we've got Humblewood and a whole bunch of other games, Send It to Avernus, Curse of Strahd, so on and so forth. You can see certain ones are flagged with Twitch creator because the person who's running it is a Twitch creator. Tells you if seats have been filled. This person has hosted over 100 plus games, 3 of the seats are filled, and so on. You could see all these different styles of games. So we could find a public game. Those are ones that are accessible to anybody, can just kind of drop in. If you have a game, you can, if you have a group rather, this is find private games, already have a group and looking for a game. You can go and try and do this. You can see, right, we've got Twitch creator here as well. As we go on and through, here's one for kids. And then we can go back here and go to find a DM. And you can actually just look up Dungeon Masters. And you might even recognize some of the folks here, right? You'll see, I'm trying to see who I recognize. We just saw Captain Robert before. Kaylee Bray from Damsels, Dice, and Everything Nice. I think Grant Ellis is in here as well. I saw him kicking around. Critical Bard. There's Grant. You know, I know Grant pretty well. We can keep scrolling through. We can see all sorts of folks from different areas are in here. We saw Ben McFarland. He works for Cobalt Press. Again, you can just see all sorts of people with different levels of experience. It can tell you. You can click to view their profile. And then when you do so, you can even book them individually for games. So again, all sorts of different people from different walks and different experience of Dungeons and Dragons. So yeah, if you see someone, a Critical Bard, someone you like and you'd like to have them run a game for you, you can just go on and we can click on, oh look at this guy right here, that's me. If we click on view my profile, you can see my profile has a little bit of information about me. It has some upcoming games that I have. So you can see I've got some drop-in campaigns coming up here in the month of August. And then I've got a one-shot that I'm going to do to intro people to Dungeons & Dragons. Or you could just click this to book a DM. And you could tell me, hey, how many people do you have? How many sessions do you want to book me for? And then send me notes and I'll come up with a campaign. It's all a discussion-based thing. But this is really interesting because it was started by a bunch of folks pretty much right after COVID-19 kind of started to happen with the whole pandemic. And now it's a great resource for finding people. You can sign up. You could also sign up yourself as a GM to run games, but you can also go in and sign up as a player, and you can go ahead and set those things up. So you can say, what kind of tools do you have? What systems do you use? Like I said, it doesn't just have to be DM or just Dungeons and Dragons. It doesn't even have to be just 5th edition. It could be 3rd edition, 4th edition, 1st edition. It has a bunch of different options for what you can choose to play and choose to run. I might be looking into using this myself to get a chance to play in some World of Darkness content. I've really wanted to play Changeling for a long time, and I can't ever get anybody to run it, so I'll probably be using the website to see if I can find someone who could run a game for me. And then basically, you just pay for a seat, you know, and everybody's allowed to set their own price for seats. And those usually kind of run, from my experience, anywhere from $15 to $50 per seat, per whatever the length of the session is. And then people can do things. They can run stuff like I have listed here as a drop-in campaign, which is sort of an ongoing campaign story where people can drop in and drop out. And, it could be the same people every day or every session that you have, or people can drop in and drop out and you as the DM decide to do it that way. Or you could run things as just one-offs. You could choose to run, like I'm planning to do an intro to D&D One Shot. So for folks who are a little uncomfortable with really running into a full-blown campaign but want to do a one-shot to see what they like about D&D or learn a little bit about it, I'm doing one of those. It also, the website, really great, actually automatically translates the time zones into your time zones. So if you see my game here, it says Friday, August 14th, 2020 at 9 p.m., that's for me in Eastern time. But if you were to go look at that game, it'd be converted to whatever time zone you're in. It just does that automatically, so you don't have to do the guessing game to figure out when things are. So like I said, if you were to go back to like a public thing here, you can read a little bit about me. You can see all these games that I have. And then I also have, I guess I didn't actually set this up, but I guess you can games on request me, and I give you kind of my preferred availability. And then you can just, like I said, if you, basically, the way it works is you pay per seat at a game. Per session, like I said, or if you book somebody, you book with a whole party and you book by the hour. So you could say, I want to book you for 10 weeks. I've got 5 players and I want to do a 10-week campaign. We want Ted from Nerd Immersion to run that for us. And then you send me that, and then I can manage my listings myself and say yes, no, if I have a whole bunch of stuff coming in, and I can go ahead and do that. So I actually ended up removing my Patreon tiers that were about me running games for people, because this is a dedicated source designed for that. So I can go ahead and set up my games as I want. I can choose to put in the dates and times rather than trying to do this through Patreon, where I say, okay, somebody can choose to do a game with me, and then we have to go through the hassle of trying to figure out when we can schedule things and get stuff together. I can instead just say, hey, look, I'm available this Friday night at 9 p.m. People sign up and join. You can put in information about how you want to do character creation and all that good stuff so people can get an idea of what to look for. Also, this is like a great thing where if I'm like all of a sudden, my wife and my kids go on vacation and I'm stuck at home working, but hey, now I have a random Thursday night open or a Monday night open, I can throw in a one-shot game and say, hey, this is open if anybody wants to play. And that's just an option. So you can reach out to me. It's got links to all of my different social medias and accounts here if you want to go and check any of those out. And I was just really, really thrilled that the folks who started it reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to check out our platform? We really would appreciate it. We're trying to get a bunch of people on here. And I recognize a lot of the names on here. I know Robert Aducci used to work for the D&D Adventures League, and it kind of goes over this. And there's also nothing to say that once the kind of pandemic and thing has ended, that this couldn't be a means to get people together at a physical table and say, hey, it's an in-person game. When that's a thing we could do, you can come out and meet and play with us in person. It also says right here, you can kind of also set it up. I like role play heavy games. I like combat heavy games. I like puzzles. I don't like puzzles. These are all kind of things you can set up ahead of time to give folks an idea of what to look for when they're going to be playing in a game. But that's also something you can be looking for as a player to say, this person loves heavy tactical combat. That's the game for me. Oh, this person loves deep enriching role playing. That's the person for me. And again, you can go ahead and try out different DMs and say, oh, hey, I really like the way you handle combat, or I like the way you play this kind of a game. Let me go ahead and join you and become a part, and try to do this. And there's no reason that a one-shot or a drop-in campaign with a specific DM, myself included, couldn't turn into something that's booked into a long-running campaign. If we were to check Robert's, because we have him right here, we can go ahead and see what he's got going on. So he's got a couple of different games listed here: Rifts, Shadows of the Dragon Lord, and he's got people can leave reviews on you as the DM or GM so they can know about you. And you can see he's got some upcoming drop-in campaigns set in Dark Sun, one-shot punk apocalyptic here, Shadow of the Demon Lord, a Learn to Play D&D, all these different stuff. And then here are games on request, where people can request things to do in different options. And you can also sometimes see where people have group games, and that's where people have booked someone with a whole group. So I was completely unaware of this until the folks behind it reached out to me. So I thought I would do a video on it to you, to all of you, to let you know that you can, this is a resource that exists. And while, I hope everybody can get a chance to play games as often as they want, just frankly, some people don't have the opportunity to do so. And this is a great way to do that. And that's not to say you can't find free games on here too, because some people are just looking to play games so they can set up stuff for free without having a pay per session price. But it's a way to support people, and it's also a way to guarantee you're going to get a slot to play with someone. Or if you see somebody on there that you've always wanted to play a game with, or play a game with them being the DM, this is a guaranteed way that you can go ahead and do so. So I hope this was informative for all of you and let you know about a cool new resource. And again, if you want to get a chance to play with me as a DM in a game that you either want to set up and come up with the idea, or in a game of my design, well, you can go ahead and do that. I'll have a link to my GM page as well as Start Playing's just main page in the description down below. Thank you again to my patrons on Patreon who do continue to support me, and hopefully I'll get to see all of you on Start Playing at some time in the future. Thank you again for subscribing to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. I would appreciate it if you did so, if you like what I do here. I will see you all next time.